What's up everyone, Liam's Vlogs and Miles here, back for another video, and today it's part 2 of the Arizona spring break trip. Today we're on our way to the crater area, the Arizona crater. At that we're going to head all the way to Sedona along with the national park. So, hope you may enjoy. Well, you can see the crater, well it's just on the sides, but once you to go closer, you may see the entire crater up close. History contents, the meteorite impact Arizona around 50,000 years ago. It was during that time, geologist Gilbert incorrectly thinking it was actually a volcano, and which he thought was actually a meteorite impact. But later, Daniel Moore's Barringer actually purchased the land and thinking he wants to build for his own mining company. And later, Barringer and his partners actually went down to the meteorite crater to actually do some geology and research. Well, later in 1929, it was used for a drilling area for looking for any minerals and iron, and which they were successful. And which during that time, they actually made this place into a business. And later in 1960, it was later in search up with geologists again, and they actually looked down and took a look at the giant crater. And later they actually built an entire visitor center around for any visitors who wants to take a look. And later in 1964 to 1972, NASA used the crater for the Apollo missions for their preparations and training. And later in 1968, it was very designated as a national landmark, which today still owned by the Barringer family, but still considered as a national landmark here in Arizona. Here is an example of a rocket launch system, like you're on board the space shuttle. Like for example, Space Shuttle Endeavour, you actually feel a lot of bumpiness for the 9-minute ride up into space. So right now we're doing a little simulation on what the rocket launch will feel like. However, the show that we're seeing was kind of long, so here actually a few clips that she took during the ride. There we go.
Themselves. What are they made of? Asteroid Ganymede and knock this rock to Neptune.
Fire no. Impact. Impact 3, 2, 1.
The missile's detonated too early. The asteroid is still on its previous course. This spot's as good as any. Let's go. Okay. Dropping the reserve antimatter fuel cell. Get us out of here fast. Push the engines back.
Impact. Direct hit.
We hit the proper velocity for our final approach. Got it? Hold on. Commander, if we don't slow down now, it'll be too late. Not yet. Wait for it. Commander, we're getting too close. Keep it up. Don't slow down yet. I don't think we can wait much longer, Commander.
Earth 12 o'clock.
4 seconds. Commander, we have to stop now. Hit the reverse thrusters now.
Woo! It looks very huge. It's almost like a size around I think around like 12 football fields. But this is mostly my perspective, but this is mostly very huge. This is where the meteorite actually impact, and down there was actually the mine shaft where they actually look for what remains from a meteorite. But however, down there's just like nothing in there, but I think they found a bit of iron, and right there's some old machinery, but the rest of it is just left been torn apart. And so it's left the crater right now. Looks pretty huge. At your 1 o'clock, you actually see pieces of the plane. That's because that somewhere in the 1970s, a Cessna 170 actually crashed beyond the walls due to high hot winds and temperatures that actually caused glare by the sun, which caused it to blind the aircraft and caused it to crash. And they actually did recover the pilots by the ranchers, but later they cannot recover the aircraft because one, it's actually too low and too high, and so the only way to actually to recover the aircraft is by burying it. So by then, the aircraft was actually being carried by hand and it's been dropped over to the mine shaft to this day. And no one, even trespassers, cannot enter the mine shaft because it's too dangerous. Here, including the NASA SLS rocket and Saturn V. By the way, SLS rocket will be launching Artemis 2, which I can't wait. And there's even larger ones like the mighty Saturn V rocket, the largest rocket for the Apollo missions. But for this one, I'm just gonna buy this postcard of the final flight of Space Shuttle Discovery. I actually like space shuttles for the first time. Alright, we're on our way to Sedona, Arizona, which is around a few miles ahead, in which our hotel is also there. But before then, we're just going to stop by at Flagstaff for a little lunch break. The view there looks pretty great, and we can barely see a good view of the train that far. Williams. This was mostly an amazing town here, likely in the 1950s, I think, to the 30s. But this is an amazing town, I can see. We're actually on our way to get some lunch, and we're actually going to tour around a little bit, even seeing that train and an Amtrak station. This seems to be a long freight train. Oh, not long anymore because over there is our That's an amazing train. We're gonna see another one. The pizza there tastes very good. That's why I rated this thing 5 stars. Very great. Tastes extremely good. Urban Pines, it's definitely at Flagstaff, and their pizza tastes very good. I rate this thing 5 out of 5 stars. But right now, once I throw away these boxes, we're about to head all the way to the Amtrak station to learn more about the Flagstaff. In fact, the Amtrak station actually has a visitor center where we can see about the history about this place. This here is an early logging wheel, which has actually been used when logging was going full swing. It was during a time they needed to move the trees around, so they could pull this thing by cattle or sometimes by early steam tractors, which is pretty cool and very engineering too. Flagstaff Visitor Center. We're just gonna stop by and just take a look at what's on the inside and learn more about the history about this place. There it goes. The station was originally constructed in 1925 until 1926 by the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe as a passenger station for Flagstaff stop. And this station here is actually around 100 years old as of 2026, which is pretty old actually, and can't believe this 100-year-old station actually stayed as strong very well since it was built in 1926. It was required by the state of Flagstaff Bed and Board and Booze tax funds, and it was later remodeled as every attempt to make protection to argue the structure of the building. The stripe painting reflects the southern heritage of the station that was developed between the base and the research of the painting analyzed of the original base construction. The building is currently served as Flagstaff Visitor Center and currently as the Amtrak service for servicing on the Southwest Chief. Well, the Southwest Chief can only run a few times passing through the stations, making stops to drop passengers off and have passengers on. But every 10 to 15 minutes, they actually have a freight train just pass by the area like the one that we saw recently. This is cool. Flagstaff City was formed in 1876, which has actually been pretty old actually. And it's actually been likely a wonderful tourist attraction and most popular in Arizona. You're actually going to the Grand Canyon. It was mostly famous for likely a lot of restaurants, including the Northern University of Arizona, and also pardoned for the Grand Canyon Railroad. Grand Canyon Railroad actually had a station in Williams for Amtrak, but however, due to poor people come to Amtrak station in Williams, they actually just shut down, just moved the station to here. But back to Williams here. It's mostly very old actually, almost like around 200 years old, and definitely it's a very good place to see. With Flagstaff now done, we begin our short trip all the way to Sedona, all the way to Highway 81A, which on our way there, we passed through several forests and great views along the area, even though it's during the drive. And when we got there, it's going to be a rocky ride. Great rock formations. Whoa!
Oh, here
This
they
is-
also have the mountain. Come on, no, my car.
Oh! Whoa!
Very careful.
Be careful, steady. Whoa! This is definitely very worth it to see when going to Sedona. From Flagstaff, actually. But this is definitely very cool. Look at those rock formations.
At the time when we go to the Yosemite there.
This reminds me of the Yosemite.
Yeah, Yosemite this road.
Yeah.
I didn't expect this road, okay?
Pretty good through very windy roads. Very gentle, but very carefully. Hard apart.
And they also
Here we
have-
go. Whoa!
And they also have-
Whoa! This is definitely
What
kind of
happened?
very careful about these 20 turns.
Oh.
Oh my God!
Especially I have the big car. I hate it.
Oh,
If small car is okay.
You'll be fine now.
oh my God! This kind of you need to do things very carefully. Oh, this is so nice and very interesting at Highway 89A. This is very a great view that we can be able to see. This is definitely very great and so beautiful to see. Very nice. The river there is mostly flowing very smoothly, even though it's actually kind of small,
creek.
but it is a creek out there. Looks like a lot of people really love to live along these areas. Here's Sliding Rock State Park, which is actually a long line right now currently. And this is definitely a huge
We came
area here.
Very early.
And those are beautiful high rock areas. You can't see that far, but those are actually red rocks, which are very colorful actually. This is very nice and very worth it to see, everyone. Everyone, this is very worth it to see on Highway 89A. The amazing
Oh,
hiking routes.
nice.
Whoa! Looks very cool. This is a very good viewpoint from here.
You have to get there before 7.
That's
Oh, I'm
true.
telling you. Half a mile.
Whoa! It's definitely worth it to go to Sedona. Very worth it. We can barely see a private jet. But there's our room right here. Let's take a look. Whoa! This is mostly luxurious. This is definitely pretty cool. We're definitely gonna stay in this room for the next 4 days. I mean, 4 nights. Definitely really like this room. This is more like cowboy-ish. Definitely I really like to stay in this room. We're actually staying here for the next 4 nights. But still cool. We already finished our tour around the hotel. Now we're at the hiking trail. We're just gonna walk around for a little bit. In fact, the hotel is actually near an airport, so definitely we're gonna walk around for a while. This actually path goes all the way to another trail area, which right now we had to go through some of these vines and some bushes. But the view there along the path looks very great. Look at that, the colorful skies and also the terrain there, including the plateaus. Looks pretty nice. All right, we're getting around halfway towards the trail, and according to Dad, looks like we're seeing some people actually taking a look at the sunset there. Supposed to be one of them there. Finally made it. We made it into the cliffside up there. We're gonna do a little climbing there, and once after that, we're gonna see the very beautiful sunset. All right, we're now just gonna take a look at the summit here and just see the good view of the sun. The sun will be starting to set soon. Looks like we got ourselves some clouds. little jogging will help me guys myself to the top. Looks like we're almost there. Just need to make sure we don't slip. Else we suffer an ankle. Whoa! This view is so spectacular. Woo!
Going up on Airport Summit is definitely an amazing day with very worth the views of Sedona and also the beautiful sunset down below. Definitely very amazing and very worth it to come over all the way to Airport Summit area.
Alright, the end of part 2. Part 3 will come out soon, in which that during that time went all the way up to Devil's Bridge with enormous views and somewhat of a great landscape picture on the bridge. Also that Dome Mountain, which is actually kind of hard to climb, but definitely a great view when you go up to the top. So you like this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notification bells to stay tuned for more videos. Also, leave a comment down below, and I'll see y'all in the future. Bye.